Welcome to Entangled Talks. So it's so awesome to be back on Instagram and back rolling. I've been off from Instagram for a while. As some of you may know, I've been writing a book. And so it's finally out, and I'm so excited to share a lot of good stuff for everyone. I am with my special guest, Alvin Catalan. Not only a friend, but I met because you took one of my classes, and now you're an incredible therapist, and you're going to share your stories too, right? So welcome to
Yes, my
this
journey.
platform of love, light, and deep conversations. Because one of the things that we realize is that we got to talk deep, we got to talk truth, we got to talk authenticity, because that is what healing is all about. And if you don't go deep into your soul and take responsibility of your wounds, we're not going to get untangled. So welcome again, welcome again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo-hoo.
Thank you for having me and sitting here with you and talking about this beautiful book, this amazing healing journey.
It's amazing.
I'm very excited to kind of dive into this, talk about some of the modalities and your favorite parts, our favorite parts, how we can use this every day.
How we can untangle, pull, and release, right?
Untangle, pull, and release, keywords. We're going to dive into that today as well.
So, when we talk about entanglements, when we talk about stories, when we talk about healing, everybody kind of wants to, like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about my wounds. I don't want to talk about my stories. It really hurts me every time I think about this person, and every time I think about like a past abuse or a past situation that happened to me. I just want to put it away in a little box and just bury it somewhere and keep going and keep rolling. But one of the reasons why I wrote this book, and not only did I write this book, it's been years of writing, is that you cannot hide anything. We need to confront. And in order to be able to untangle, we got to dive deep and understand why we feel certain ways, why we're resonating with certain things, why we are super entangled with certain situations that are not letting us grow in our life. So tell me your experience with spiritual divorce.
Yes. So I met Joyce almost last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yes. So she was already speaking the lingo. And some of my big takeaways are who source is, where source comes from, right? Realizing that you are the God inside of you. We spoke a little bit about that. Untangling, pulling, and releasing. Like, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for you? Do you understand the concept of having entanglements? Like, what does all of that mean? And I've kind of been hearing about it for the past year now, but not everyone else is going to be able to get to kind of read about it and really understanding what is it to be untangled? What does pulling and releasing mean? And let's kind of dive into that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So basically, spiritual divorce is a system. It's a modality, okay? It allows you to really understand why you're repeating patterns and why we are interconnected, and those connections are actually convoluted. They're knotted, okay? A lot of people tell me, well, yeah, we meet people, we're always connecting with people. Yes, we are networks of people. All the time we coalesce with things. We coalesce with people. We meet people that last a lifetime. We meet people that last a day. Or we create relationships, and within those relationships we create entanglements. And the interesting part of this whole situation is when I started this work, I was 24 years old. I was completely entangled with my father. I had heavy entanglements with my culture, heavy entanglements, and disconnected from my soul completely. I lost my identity, and I found that my identity was actually attached to my father. And so in this process of my wounded self, or finding myself, like everyone's like, wow, I'm finding myself. It's not that you've lost yourself. It's that you're actually upgrading. You're creating an optimal version of yourself, and you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the wound in order to really understand that contrast that's going to take you into that optimal self. And so an entanglement is if I've got stuff going on with you and there's a distorted reality in my life, there's an entanglement. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with the situation that you're living in front of you. The entanglement goes way back into your life. We can start from the day that you're born, but we can take it into multi-dimensional levels of your avatar, your soul, your body, where it's traveled, because we're travelers of consciousness. I have a whole chapter in the book that talks about that we're travelers of consciousness and how important it is to understand that we're in multiple places at the same time. So these entanglements are connections, kind of like if you plug in your phone to the socket and it has electricity. So the entanglement, which is a frequency, has rhythm, and it has data that is constantly traveling through into this avatar and into my avatar. And so if I have a pleasant relationship with Alvin, my data is going to flow wonderfully. And I'm going to feel it wonderful because we are humans of sensations, of feelings. But when him and I become convoluted or have some kind of, contrast together, my connections remain connected and transmit that convoluted information. And even though you and I separate and you and I no longer talk, our entanglements talk to each other.
It's a connected web.
So if I'm connected sexually with you, my entanglements are talking. If I'm connected to the heart, I'm totally talking to you. Or if they're my mind. So depending on how those entanglements started.
Was it a romantic partnership? Was it a work partnership? Was it a side partnership?
Right.
Okay, that's where it's going to stick.
Right. And so to take it even further, that data can mix up. And it keeps transmitting and keeps transmitting. So what happens is that you're trying to find yourself somehow and you keep repeating the same patterns because your vibrational symphony, which is your energy field, is an orchestra of data. And it's talking and it's bringing so much information out there. And so what are you matching? What are you attracting? What are you resonating with? Is that symphony of information. That's why the book will allow you to deepen your understanding of your relationships and how you got convoluted, how you're transmitted, and why, understanding your distorted reality so that you can change your patterns and create a different sequence. Everything has a science to it, and the book has that information.
There's so many topics I want to get to. I'm like, do I go to entanglements with love? Do I go to the breathwork portion? Do we go to couples and sex entanglements? Do we go to pets? Why don't we talk about, let's talk about your maps. Let's talk about that aspect of the book and maps. We can talk about writing as well. That was a big component I read. How writing can very well be spiritual. I loved your take on that, if you could talk about that.
Okay, so part of the methodology is to get you to write, right? So when you start getting into sessions with Spiritual Divorce, SDT sessions, the first thing that I do is I get you to write me a letter. It's called the Untangling Letter. And this letter, it's in the book, so you're going to be able to do it on yourself when you buy the book. But of course, when you do the session, you write. And so people are like, where do I start writing? What do I do? I don't know where to start. I got so much to talk about.
10 pages later.
Yeah, 10 pages. I get 10 pages of letters, 20 pages. I get people that just want a paragraph. They're not there yet. They don't want to express. So writing is a powerful tool. That's why journaling exists. But when you take it into your wounds and you're writing, but you're writing with your hand, you're writing with a pencil, you're actually scientifically opening new neural pathways in the brain. Okay? You're igniting circuits in your brain. And so when you have an entanglement, there's certain neural pathways that are blocked. So when you're writing, you are bypassing your logical mind, which is your rationality, your rational mind, which is the one, hey, yeah, of course I can heal. Of course I got over that partner. That's your ego mixed with your consciousness, with your conscious in the frontal cortex.
Prefrontal cortex.
Yep. And so what happens is that when you speak in traditional therapy, it gets in the way. But when you're writing, you go into the soul. And so when you go into the soul, we are embarking in a journey of everything. You're tapping in all to your emotions, your anger, your sadness, your frustration, your resentment. I hate this. I love this. And so there's no logical order. I am big on no order. Just write, free write.
And
So that things come up and write.
And is that because there's no ego there? You're bypassing the ego there. Because I love how you kind of spoke to that when you talk to a therapist, the ego will kick in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're writing to no one. You're writing to yourself.
It's yourself.
And things will come out more honest and truthful, right?
Right.
Wow.
And by the way,
that's true,
healing
actually.
is for yourself. It's not for anybody else. When you tap into your stories, you're healing yourself. This is an individual path. There's no judgment. There's no criticism. You know, I don't care what anybody says outside of yourself. This is your movie, actually. So visualize a projection. A projector projects out into a screen and it shows you something. This is how the soul works. Your symphony, which it's in the book,
Mm-hmm.
is the data, the orchestrated mixology of information that is exerting out and showing you a reality. That reality is not set in stone. It's actually your past. It's not even something that you want to create. You can't create because we're already programs. From the age of like 15, you're done. You already have all your programming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to understand that. There's a question that we're going to answer in a bit. What's a good example of untangling, pulling in, and releasing? Well, let's talk about you and I again,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So there's a few ways. If you need tools like right away, okay, that need to be untangled, you're going to repeat these words all the time so that you can actually erase the incoherency. So every time that you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling like something is off in you, you repeat the words, I untangle, pull, and release. I untangle, pull, and release. I untangle, pull, and release. You keep repeating it. So fake it till you make it. Repeat the word. The power of the word is that you're programming your brain and your cellular system to untangle, pull, and release. Okay? And the more you do this, the more that you're going to create breakthroughs in your life. If you can't get to us as DT specialist, or if you can't, get into a session, repeat those words to yourself. And what you're going to do is you're going to alleviate the chaos between the entanglements.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I interrupted with the question, but where were we at? Where were we at?
I don't know, but I kind of wanted to go into what entanglements, some topics of what types of entanglements they might be looking at, or what they might not even think is an entanglement.
Right. So there's so many thousands of forms of entanglements. We have a list in the book. You can have an entanglement with a lover. You can have an entanglement with your past love. You can have entanglements with the 15 relationships you had in your life. You can have an entanglement with a pet. You can have an entanglement with a home. You can have an entanglement with your parents, with the death of a loved one. There's so many forms of entanglements. Now, how you're entangled is crazy, because if you're looking at love, how many loves can you consider? Do you feel like there's all kinds of loves, or do you feel like there's that one person that it hits you right in the heart?
Yeah, but I'm past that point, so it's not even like.
But in your past, can you
In
remind?
the past,
let's
there
say
was one. Yeah, there was one that hit me right in the heart.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So definitely, there's always that
Absolutely.
one person, and when you're entangled with that one person,
Yeah, so
It's
that was an entanglement.
deep.
Yes, that was deep. Yes, that's where you're going.
that's where I'm going.
Yes.
Okay. So. Yeah, because that entanglement, what happens when you're so in love? What happens when you're in love at that moment? Your mind gets out of your way. It's just your bodies are exchanging energy.
There's no logical thinking.
There's no logical. You're completely exchanging everything in your soul with that person. Plus, you're penetrating if you get into the sexual entanglements. And so when you're getting into that tightness, you're really going deep, and just fluids are going through, and we're completely in an ecstasy experience. And what are we creating? Soul webs. And so imagine a spider web mechanism. And the spider web is the designer of its mechanism. You are the designer and the creator of your life. And you are constantly putting out these filaments into the air and creating a geometric system. Okay. Now, when you're creating with someone and you're in that penetration and you're creating tantric emotions and emotions are involved and just fluids are involved, the entanglements can be so deep and so stuck into your cellular system that they're actually hard to pull out. That's why I created the I untangle, pull, and release factor, because when you repeat that over and over, you come into a session or you're with an STT specialist, you work on your entanglement, you go home and you continuously work and you continuously repeat I untangle, pull, and release. And you're driving in your car, I untangle and pull and release this person from all the memories I've ever shared.
Anytime the thought comes into your mind,
Mm-hmm.
untangle, pull, and release that thought.
Untangle out.
That person. Untangle, pull, and release that I am not worthy. Untangle, pull, and release that I'm not good enough. Untangle.
So where do you feel the entanglement when you're saying that word? Where do you feel it, let's say?
Your heart.
Your heart. Let's say you feel it in the heart. So
like on your shoulders too, if it's weak.
Yeah.
If it's just like
so I untangle, pull, and release. So I use my
Oh,
hands.
use your hands.
Because my hands we have chakras in the palms of our hands. So we're going to move our hands and we're going to use our hands. So quantum medicine is about understanding the space between the corporeal self and the other corporeal self, or the space in between. This is quantum medicine. This is medicine here. And this is frequency and this is rhythm. So we tap into this frequency, this unified field.
Mm-hmm.
You might call it God. You might call it, whatever you want to call it, because there's really no specific anything. It's really a science.
Energy.
And it's energy. So when you do this movement, you're actually pulling. You're pulling it.
So it's on your shoulders.
It's on your shoulders. You pull it from your shoulders.
It's your heart.
Foof, foof. Yeah, it's your heart.
If it's sexual trauma,
you grab that.
Pull it from there. If it's your mind, you keep having racing thoughts, pull it from your mind.
Correct.
Untangle, pull, and release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the book, I add a lot of different sequences that you can repeat. I untangle, pull, and release is like the base. It's like building a building. The base, I untangle, pull, and release. Now add to your ingredients. Add forgiveness. I untangle, pull, release, forgive. I untangle, pull, release, and retrieve. I give back. I return. I untangle, pull, and release, and I close. I untangle, pull, and release, and I integrate. Because it's not only about breaking up with someone or releasing an entanglement. It's about integrating what this is trying to show me, because what you're seeing outside of yourself, it's right inside of you, because you are a projector. So you are projecting out into your reality a distorted reality or a happy reality, or hey, that's what I want to live. Hey, that's exactly what I want to experience. Or shoot, man, I'm in this mess again. So why am I in this mess again? Let me check out. Let me disassociate myself from the distorted reality, get myself out of the movie, release the victim, and put it on the table and write it down and say, oh, man, this happened to me with my father when I was 5. Or this happened to me with my teacher when I was 10. So we got to untangle all of our relationships. Mom, dad, father, children. Because we're repeating the same narrative and they're repeating the same stories. And we got to break those cycles in the past and in the future generations so that we can create that life we love, which is a quote that we listen to, right, all the time. How do I create the life I love? It's not as easy as we think, because we got to go in there. Yeah.
Do you love yourself?
Yeah.
I hear.
So Gabe is saying, how long will it take for this method to work? Well, it takes as long as you allow it, because it's a choice, right? So we have the choice to hold on to the narrative. We have the choice to keep on with the same patterns, because we're addicted to those negative patterns all the time. And so in order for you to break a pattern, you got to do it like maybe 21 times, 100 times to break it. But if you're aware of it and you show up to and take responsibility of your own stuff, then you'll break through, because 90% of the journey is to actually take responsibility and show up in your own life and be there for your own self. So who cares if a bunch of stories happen in my life? I had tons and I can go into them, and I'm sure you had tons of those too. But when you took responsibility, what happened?
It changed.
It changed.
Changed.
And the good news is you change every day, because every
Yeah.
day we make a different choice. Every day we
Mhm.
wake up and we're a different person.
Every day you're smarter than you were yesterday.
Absolutely.
And the moment you decide to take the swords out of your back and change and make that effort, it's like you don't even want to go back to where you were, because you're such in a high vibe. I could put it that way. Like, it's like, why would I want to go back to that point? But to get there, it takes time, and you have to do the work.
You got to do the work.
You know.
So to answer your question, how long does it take for the method to work? It could be instant. Okay. I've had people break through instantly, and they let go of someone right away. They let go of a situation. They let go of a trauma right away. Or it might take you a couple sessions, or it might take you longer. It all depends on you, on how fast you want to forgive and integrate. Because forgiveness is a big one.
Even if they don't deserve it, even if they're not
it doesn't matter
your
what
forgiveness.
Heck no.
It's more for you, you know. And I say that in the context of what if it's someone that is a murderer or is a rapist. It's like, you got to forgive in order for you to feel good and move on. Release that, untangle, pull, and release that attachment to that narrative of that situation.
And now that you're saying that, one of the questions that we were talking about before is, that's where soul contracts come in. You know, when you're in spirituality, or what's spirituality? Let's redefine spirituality. Mm-hmm. It's just really you connecting to yourself, right? You connecting to who you are, a higher power, which can be named.
Can be you.
Yeah.
Can put yourself.
Because you are a higher power.
There's no faith there. Mm-hmm. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then who are you expecting to believe in you? Mm-hmm.
You got to recognize yourself.
Commander, source, God, Allah, Buddha, temple, whatever you see.
Jesus, whatever, angels, whatever. Like I say to when my little kids, when my children were little, whatever tingles your window, honey. It's just whatever flights your boat, whatever just ignites you. For me, it's a unified field of consciousness. I believe that I don't believe in religion. I believe in unity, and I believe in love. And for me, this is the medicine, and it's here. And there is a science to it. And the science is close your eyes and feel. And if you can't feel, we can help you feel. Feeling is, we're here on earth to feel, to experience. We're here to experience love. We're here to experience hate. We're here to experience wounds. We're here to experience all kinds of stuff in a roller coaster, because the line is not straight. It is up and down, side by side. But I believe in balance. And I believe that when you work on yourself, you do achieve harmony. Okay? So just, you got to feel. And sometimes we're so disassociated from our feelings because of our trauma. You work with trauma too. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
There's another question. Is it possible to have an entanglement with a previous partner of a person you're involved with? Heck yeah.
Because they're entangled.
Yes, because they're entangled. So
who you have sex with?
Let's talk about that. This is a great topic.
All right. Yeah. So I actually recently just pinned this down, right? So you're having sex with 4 other people. Mm-hmm. You're not with them anymore, but then I go and I have a relationship with this person. All of their webs and their entanglements and their ties, their soul webs has connected to my soul, depending on the level of how we connected, right? Was it mind? Were we intellectually together? Mm-hmm. Were we physically together? Were we sexually together? And you can pick up other people's bad vibes.
So we're magnetic.
or clogged up, tangled, and
yeah. So let me explain a little bit of the scientific part of it. The mind is very electric energy, so you're sending out signals. The body, the heart energy is so magnetic. So that's why feelings are so magnetic. That's why the power of manifestation is what you feel you attract, what you think you attract. But it's more of what you feel, because what you feel, wow, that's why the negative you attract, the positive you also attract. So I'm with someone sexually, and I'm magnetically connecting with their magnetism. And so my entanglements have data, her entanglements or his entanglements have data. And so it's a software, we match the frequencies, and then everything gets all convoluted. So we are all vibration and frequency and rhythms. That's why sound is so powerful, because sound transports us to different dimensions and takes you memories, of course. So you become you bring in this information into you. A lot of people have depression because of their partner, because they're exchanging energy through sex and emotions, and they are feeling their depression. So sometimes people come to me for depression, and they're not really that depressed. It's that their partner is very entangled. But everything is it's like catching a cold.
Yeah.
If I'm with you long enough, I'm going to be catching stuff.
Wow.
If I'm with you and I speak to you long enough, I'm going to start speaking your lingo, and we're going to be talking the same way. I might even catch your accent, right? So energy is like this. Everything is energy, everything is frequency, and everything is vibration. That's why you can interpret the language of someone else by feeling them without even hearing their words, because words don't speak louder, energy does. And this is what you have to keep in mind. So yes, you do get entangled with energies.
You feel the vibe. Places have entanglements too. Right?
Ooh, of course.
You walk into a room and you're just like, ooh, right? There could be a massive entanglement there, and if you continue to stay there, you very well might pick that up if you create a memory there, or you create something that that sticks in your mind.
So it's all magnetic. Now, for example, if you move from a house and I'm going to give you my example. So I lived in a home for my childhood years, all my life. And then, of course, when I was like 16, my dad decides, let's move out. Let's go to the beach. So yeah, I like the idea of the beach, but I grew up in this house. So all my childhood memories are there and everything is there. So what does my logical mind say? No, we can't leave there. That's where the memories are. Instead of understanding that our memories are within ourselves, that you can carry memories all the time. But then there was a lot of chaos in my home a lot of the time. There was a lot of entanglements with my parents. There was a lot of stuff going on. And so what happens was, when I left that location, even though I physically left, I still was so attached to this home and the memory and the good and the harmful. So those soul webs continue to transmit data, even though I was in a different land or a different home. Homes have memory. Homes carry energy. Homes have personalities. Even if you have identity, they have identity. So if that house needs to be released from the entanglement so that the new energy comes in, so that the new family that's there doesn't repeat patterns. Okay. I lived in a home that I closed that house, and I remember that those people were fighting in the closing office where we were in. And when I got to that home, I cleaned that home so many times. I cleared energy, I cleared it, but I could feel the vibration of the old people. So through this journey, I've released, I've learned how to release these different things, and that's how I created the spiritual divorce methodology. It's, you got to untangle your life so that you can create a new one.
Little by little, piece by piece.
Yeah. So what would you like? Any other questions? Does anybody have any other questions? We can discuss anything that you want to know. Huh?
Maybe just talk about the names of the 12 temples.
Yeah.
So this is
energy templates.
So this aspect. So I asked her a very specific question. Yeah, so if they were to get this book, where should they kind of tackle it?
So this is an example of your energy templates, right? So this is what we would consider your field, your layers, your subtle bodies, chakras, right? So this is a geometric coding that carries data, okay? And this data has, in the book, you'll see it has clustered templates, or the little mini discs with information and sequences. And so that code is what you are actually, bringing into your reality, okay? So when we work on the different areas of our life, kind of like this, you get to actually work on your mother-father templates. You work on your love templates. You work on your entanglements with your schooling, with bullying, with anything that you could have gone through traumatically, sexual abuse, abuse in general, money entanglements, business, finances. You might be carrying an entanglement from your family, like an imposter energy that is jumping around. Some people have curses. Some people have family dynamic entanglements, which is how they interrelate with the family.
Anger.
shame,
guilt, belonging, like
Mm-hmm.
just feeling, wanting to feel. And that's part of field 4, your inner world and your inner foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts from the inside out.
It all starts from the inside out. So I ask us any other questions that you have. We have only like an hour to talk, and we would love to answer any questions that you guys might have. Do you want to talk about any of your entanglements?
Mine? Yeah, sure.
It's up to you.
They have any left. I've done a lot of work. I've worked
Mhm.
with Joyce. She definitely came in my life at a certain point in time, and I worked on. You want to know the big one? I don't even think I ever told you this.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and you said it when we were in the session. Worthy. You feel like you're not worthy of a loving partner
Mm-hmm.
or worthy of a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuck with me because I got the message, and I was told like you're not worth anything, and no one's going to love you for what you have to offer. Now
And who
people-
told you that?
People are going to see it's the next.
An ex.
And,
And that ex told you that.
Who had a lot of
Entanglement.
entanglements, right? And then
And any other time you felt or heard that?
never.
Never.
No.
Your parents, they were all good.
No.
Schooling, that was your first time.
Yeah.
And you took it in. You recorded that information, and then you started to repeat it in different patterns.
I did.
Until you released the entanglement with that person, and the data no longer was transmitting, and then you changed your whole reality. And so how were your partners? Were they all entangled too? The ones you were resonating with?
Currently,
Not now. I know you're good now, but before.
was I resonating with them? No.
No, you were resonating. You had other partners that were life kind of similar, right?
I did. Yeah. You attract what the frequency is that you're at. And it was a learning curve. It was like trial and error. I learned the hard way personally, and trial and error, but with a sense of awareness, understanding a little bit, just a little bit. I only knew a little bit of what this book talks about and what spirituality speaks on, and I can just understand. I'm just like, no, this isn't it. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. The next person and the next person. Found myself in this repetitive cycle of like, why am I trying to fight to show people that I'm worthy of something, or I'm worthy of being loved? At the same time, I really didn't understand where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Untangle, pull, and release the person, but also like the amounts of entanglements that person had,
Mm-hmm.
that I really realized were not mine. They were not mine. That was just a short relationship where the entanglement was
Took over
so
your body.
deep, but it was on a deep. You talked about this. It's so deep, short period of time, very, very deep, and I thought I was never going to be able to.
Do you want me to tell you what the name of that soul web is? It's called an invasive soul web. So we have 4 different types of soul webs in this SDT technique. One of them is an invasive. And so when it's invasive, it's super deep and it's within you like, you can pull it. It can be, and the other one is a hovering. So it can become hovering depending on how, like twin flames, soulmates, how tight that relationship is. Those webs everywhere that you try to release them, you pull them, but it's tight. The data is really, really intense. So becomes invasive. And so once it's hovering, it's over here, it's hanging around, but it's still transmitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have an imposter soul web, which is what he had. He had some stuff that wasn't mine, or it could be a parent, or it could be a grandparent, or someone in your ancestral lineage, where you're repeating an illness, where you're repeating a pattern, where you're repeating sexual abuse. And that's why in the clan or the tribe, there's repetitive, similar experiences because of the webs. The data is just filtering everywhere, and people are just, oh my God. That's why cousins
Feeling each other.
Yeah.
Feeling each other's
Yeah.
ties.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
even their own.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess doing the work is the aspect of untangling, pulling and releasing everything that no longer serves you. That's not yours. And then I think that's the second part to the journey is now let's find out who you are on the inside. Start feeling yourself. And that's where I've been feeling myself. You said something like, can you feel your own heart? And I was like, in my cavity, I can,
And I'm going to wrap it up with the last question. How would it work if your partner is entangled and they really don't do anything about it? And is there a way to protect yourself? Well, I mean, yeah, there's a way of protecting, but energy is is contagious again. So yeah, you can protect yourself, but what are you protecting yourself from? And why are you with a partner that doesn't make you happy, that you have to protect yourself from
Yeah,
them?
question.
You know, if you're going to protect yourself from someone that you want to share your life with, then that means that you're not in alignment. You're not in
asking
alignment.
the wrong question.
Yeah, that alignment is wrong, because that means that that person it doesn't want to change. So you have to make a decision of, what do I want to experience in life? What do I want to feel? You know, what do I want to feel? What's my next experience all about? Becoming a creator of your destiny means having the awareness of knowing your next step. Doesn't mean how it's going to happen. It's just, you know what? Give my intention. I have a clear intention that I don't want to live this disconnected relationship. I don't want to live abuse anymore. I don't want to feel like I don't recognize myself. I don't want a partner that doesn't love me or worthy to be loved. So when you recognize all these things, it's perfect, because then you know what you don't want. So when you know what you don't want, you can focus on what you do desire and allow your desire to come through. Strong intentions, great realities. But if you have a harmful intention, or you have a harmful sensation in your body, you're going to attract that. So it's good to put your feelings in check. What am I feeling? How am I feeling? With who do I feel it? When did I feel it before? And really understand your system. The book is going to help everyone really tap into that. You know, we're going to have many things coming up. We're going to have a big experience coming up in person and also online, you know, to get people to start this process. And this spiritual divorce is going to be a certification course for energy healers, psychologists, psychiatrists, a tool to incorporate into your box that will help you understand what quantum medicine is, because we don't have time. Life is fast, velocity is fast. People need to heal. We need to awaken, and we need to live our best selves. In order to do that, you need to take responsibility of the baggage you carry. Okay, can I have entanglement with past lives? Yes, you can. With your cat, with your dog, with all kinds of stuff, your bird, whatever it is that you can have entanglements. Yes, you can tap into that, release it, let it go, stop the narrative, and create a different future, because you are the creator. And are you the creator of your destiny?
100%.
Because I'm the architect of my destiny as well.
Blueprints and all.
Yes. So, guys, if you have any questions, we might create a series. We might keep going on. He's a powerful healer. Not only is he studying mental health and we're kind of, what I think is coming up is that we're reinventing the approach of mental health.
Yeah.
We're revamping it. The traditional therapy is great, but we need to add the energy component to it. If you combine both and understand it, this is a great career to start your career.
Energy medicine,
medicine.
Integrating the spiritual divorce technique into your day-to-day. First, do it for yourself, right? Before you try and go and do it for others, of course. Do it for yourself. I promise you it will certainly bring you to a level of awareness, and it's seeing how everything is connected, right? At the end of the day, everything really is connected.
So you can be entangled with past lives. You can be parents having bad relationships. Of course, it's all a huge thing, but the most important is to be aware of it and then break it down. We start with the letter. We then put it in a map, where we put in a mapping method that will give you awareness. And then you'll be able to do that map in the book. And then, of course, you can do exercises that I include in the book, or, you know, go deep into a program or a process. Is it necessary for both people to be connected to go to therapy? Nope. You can untangle someone by yourself in a therapy
I mean, someone
session.
you're not with anymore? Yeah.
Yes. You are the untangler, okay? You untangle your stuff in therapy. You confront your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, the rape, the abuse, the love, the hate, the frustration, everything.
They don't have
by
to.
yourself. They don't have to be with you here. Do they feel it? Yeah, they might feel it, because we're all connected.
Oh yeah, I untangled mine, and the person was never near me.
But they can call you back quickly. So yeah, if the work is independent, it's individual. Okay, so hey, that's all. Thanks for.
That's all we have time for.
I know, we can keep going. We can do another series. Just send us your questions. Talk to Alvin. We can get on a live again. We can keep talking good stuff. He's an awesome tarot reader as well. He does beautiful healing sessions with his tarot. tarot is a tool. It's a divinity tool. It just gives you a tangible vision of where things are. The healing, the tarot doesn't do the healing. You do the healing.
Yeah. I pick up your energy through the cards.
Absolutely.
No future predictions, but it can help me figure out things that put words to what you can't say or you're not saying.
Exactly.
Everything is energy.
Yes. And
maybe we start a book club. We should do that.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to start
one on my
we can do it. We can start a book. We can read it. We can read the book, and we can go through things. I'm going to have a live session on June 4th, and it's going to be free once you buy the book. Okay, and there's a process. We're going to be launching it this week sometime. It's a workshop from 10 to 4, and it'll allow you to understand more of the book. I'm going to go through stuff. You're going to write some stuff. We're going to really work it. And then it'll give you a better understanding. You'll have time to talk to me and have questions. It's an online private event. You have to register, but it's free when you buy the book. And then we could take it to the next level of your entangling process. So thank you for being here. I love you so much.
I love you so
Ever
much.
since I met you, I really connected with you, your family. And you find your soul family in this work.
Family.
And this is one of the best things that this spiritual holistic work really brings into the table, is that you meet like-minded people.
You do. You meet your soul tribe.
And you can always count on them, and they can always count on you, and you walk side by side with everyone. And his Instagram is @Healing
Hype Man Alvin.
There we go. Mine is Spiritual Divorce, and
Spiritual Divorce.
Let's create a community. Connect with love. Well, take care, everybody. Have a great night, and see you soon. See you in my next live. I will be announcing, and Friday is my launch, so hopefully we'll do a little live stream.
Book is available on Amazon.
Yes.
Already. Feel free to check it out there.
Yes. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart.com, Target.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's actually everywhere. Okay, guys, I love you guys. Thanks for your support, and talk soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.